Yo, what's going on, guys? Welcome back to another video. I'm stealing this entire video idea from one of my friends. He made a video talking about the most embarrassing moments in his school or his memories in school, and I thought that was a really good idea. So I wanted to tell my most embarrassing childhood memories. At least a few of them, because I have a lot, and I'm probably gonna get a few other people like my friend Zach or Easy to join in this video. All right, before I start, I just want to preference that this story that I'm gonna tell probably was the line, the I don't know. It definitely stopped me from being popular. It definitely left. If I didn't do this, I would probably be high working at Starbucks with friends. I would probably have friends if I didn't do this. So I just wanted to preference this. But on the first day of going to school, when I was I think I was 10, I walked onto the bus, and one of the guys, he was like a farm guy, he walked up to me. He was like, "Yo, everyone loves me, dude. Everyone wants to dap me up. I am such a popular kid." And when I saw this, I was like, man, this guy's really egotistical. And mind you, at the time, I was very Christian, and I everything I did revolved around God. So when this guy was dabbing everyone up, he went to dab me up, and the thing that I did was I said no. And I turned my head and looked out the window, just thinking, wow, I really did a good thing today. That kid thought he was better than God. I sacrificed my reputation and popularity just because I loved Jesus so much. So that really set a damper on my reputation at school. So I that made me the entire loser at school. Another good story was during the school prom. No, it wasn't prom. It was middle school dance, and everyone's talking about it. Everyone's like, yeah, I'm gonna dress up. I'm gonna get all the girls or whatever. Man. And I remember I was hyping myself up before I went to this dance, and I was telling myself, all right, I'm gonna ask my crush to dance at this entire thing. And I was so confident that she was gonna say yes. I was so confident that everything would be great, and I was gonna get the girl. It was gonna be the end of every freaking movie. And man, so embarrassing. So when we got to the dance, I'm not very good at socializing, so I sat alone at a table, and I don't know, bro. I don't know why I was so miserable to talk to, because I couldn't hold a conversation. So I just sat alone at the table, and no exaggeration, to the table next to me was all of the popular kids, and they were all just talking super loudly. They're laughing, acting like normal human beings. And then there's me on the other table alone. No one's at my table, and I just don't know why, but I was just so I was such a loner, man. So I was sitting there super nervous because I was going to ask my crush to dance. And let me just tell you the quick little layout of this entire dance. So we're in the gym, and to the table next to me is the popular kids, and down the gym on the other side is my crush with her 2 or 3 other friends, and they were all the popular girls or whatever. So I get all my courage. I walk across the gym, oh my gosh, dude. I make the awkward walk across the gym. And when you're walking towards someone and they're looking at you, but you don't know if you want to say hi yet or whatever. You don't want to acknowledge that you're gonna spark a conversation with them, but they're looking at you. It was like that for a solid 10 seconds. So after those unbearable 10 seconds, I look at her in her eyes, the girl that I've had a crush on for months, and I say, so, would you want to go dance with me? Oh gosh. Her friends all look at her and start laughing. And she's like, oh, I don't really dance. I don't sorry, I don't really dance. And her friends are like, no, you should go dance with them. You should dance, trying to get her to be embarrassed or whatever, because I'm not the popular kid. So I'm not. Oh gosh. And yeah, I took the defeat. very poorly because I sat at the table and I just pouted, bro, for like the next hour of the entire school dance. I just sat there sad. Oh man, that was funny. Nice to look back on. By the way, also this entire thing, like, you know, when girls or whatever, guys too, I don't know, gossip. You know, when they like talk behind your back and you don't know what they're saying, you don't know exactly what your entire like reputation is. I don't honestly really care enough to even think about my reputation. But man, I must have had a real bad reputation in school because I'm just walking like by them to like go to the water fountain. And her friend leans over to her. She says, "He's behind you." And in that very moment, I just let go. I was like, yeah, all right, I can't have a crush on her anymore. I'm done. Embarrassing. I actually, I told my friends that I was making this video, and another one, Zach, he wanted to join. So he wants to tell some stories, so I'll give him the mic.
Hi, let me tell you some embarrassing stories. There's not a lot on me. I don't have a lot of stories that I remember, a lot of things that I remember, and some things are like, oh, that's not embarrassing. That's just kind of like you just got scarred type stuff. I'm not gonna say. Okay, I'm gonna start with the first one. First story I have. Okay, so the first one, it was around when I was in grade school, maybe sixth grade or fifth grade. Probably sixth grade. Because at that time I was sprouting into a young man. You know, I was hitting puberty. And at that time I was dating someone, and she was more sexual. She knew more stuff about it than I did at that time. And the thing is, in sixth grade, it's like the kids don't really know much at sixth grade. They don't know much about sex. It's not really a big thing. But like at my age, it's supposed to, because you get to the junior high school level, the age where you're like, oh my god, sex, did you touch her boob? I was more like, oh my god, dude, did you play Minecraft last night? and and then reason why is because I got held back twice. And that's kind of something that was annoying to me, is getting held back twice. The first time was in kindergarten. It wasn't really getting held back, and I thought it was kind of absurd. Like when I first got held back, when I told people, they're like, "I got held back in kindergarten." I was like, "The fuck? Did you not know how to put the circle in the triangle, or circle in a circle, or whatever the fuck you do? Like that's just so easy. You just play and you just mess around and choo choo, you know." And then my mom tells me when I'm in like junior high or something, she goes, "Zach, you actually got held back twice in kindergarten." And I was like, I'm that stupid? No, I'm not that stupid. I got held back a second time in third grade. Oh, and the reason why I got held back in kindergarten, totally skipped it, is because in kindergarten I got held back because it wasn't held back. It was because my mom missed the date to put me into kindergarten. So we had to wait another year for me to go into kindergarten. So that's why I got held back. But the third time was in third grade or second, and I had a speech impediment apparently. And I didn't think much of it. It was like I kind of spoke a little bit British. I had a little bit of a British type tongue problem or something like that. But that's why I got held back the second time. But continuing on with my story, so I went into a whole depth of what I'm supposed to be talking about. When we started dating, she was a bit more frisky, and you know, as in frisky and stuff, like I didn't know nothing about it, like to the point where like she's getting sexual, and it was like to the point where I had a bust, but I thought I had to go pee, and so I would stop and I would go pee. I thought I had to go pee, like I didn't know what that was. And when I learned all about sex ed and stuff like that was in junior high, like seventh grade, and like at that age, I was supposed to learn it like 2 years ago, apparently. Like that's how far back I was. But the embarrassing part is she ended up breaking up with me, and my mom, she comes to like talk to me, and I instantly broke down. And I don't remember how I said it, but I was crying. I was like, I didn't mean to do anything like that. I didn't mean to do all that sexual stuff and all that and it wasn't even much. It was just kissing and touching type stuff, like it was just like I cried about it. And then my mom got her to come into talk with us, and I was crying the whole time. And it was like one of those situations where it was like I got raped or some shit. And I cried about it in that room. Like, this was like 6th grade when I was fucking like 10 or 11, probably. Well, not 10 or 11. I would say 12 or 11. Somewhere in there. I don't know. I don't really exactly remember. I don't have good time spacing, but that's how young I was, and I was like, I was crying the whole time, and she was there watching me cry, bro. And like, if you're a guy, it's like you're supposed to own up to that, and you're like supposed to be like, yeah, I did that, yeah. But no, I was like, yeah, she did that. I, I cried and cried about it, and it was so embarrassing because like I grew up and I was like, dude, that's not even that bad. That's like a normal fucking relationship, dude. Like the fuck, and I felt so bad, and I knew her more because how I knew her was she was related to my mom's friend that hung out a lot, so it was that, and I just can't believe I did that. I was such a little pussy bitch. Like, and the reason why my mom wanted me to talk to me at first, like the reason why I ratted myself out, was she wanted to talk about like, oh, I know you broke up, and I want to see if you're okay. And I thought she knew what we were doing. I thought she knew that when I was a kid. I thought she knew what we were doing. So like I broke down and revealed everything what we were doing, like getting under the sheets and all that stuff. And it was like so fucking stupid. And I just can't believe I ratted myself out. And it's even worse that I cried in front of her about something that's common. And I was such a bitch. But that's my first embarrassing story. The reason why it's so embarrassing is because I gave myself up about something about relationship to my mother. I was like, I'm the victim here. I wasn't even a victim. No one was a victim. I was just a bitch. But next, I laughed that whole time. I don't even think that was coherent. Next embarrassing story that you could use. So, this is like 5th or 4th grade, or 3rd. Well, around there. Definitely not 6. But this is like a small little story. So, when I was in that grade, it was lunchtime. All of us are sitting at a table, eating lunch, our whole class. And someone asked me, who do you like in this class? Who do you have a crush on, And, excuse me, I'm burping for my drink. And I was like, I have a crush on her and her and her. And the kid that I told, I don't remember who, he goes to the table and says who had a crush on to everyone. And the girl, one of the girls I remember, plain as day, looked at me from down the table in pure disgust. And I was just embarrassed because he told everyone at the table. That was like, that's like 20 kids at the table. That was 20 kids. And 3 girls I knew there were like, ew, disgusting. Fuck. He likes me? I cannot touch that with a 5-foot pole. But it's a child, so she said fudging. And it was so embarrassing, and I think that's where I got more trust issues from, is telling people stuff. Because, like, they broke my trust, man. They asked, and they didn't keep it a secret. They just told. But that's another embarrassing story. And I don't think I got much stories where it's like, I came to school with no pants on. I'm trying to remember what it was. I'll continue with this story. When it was in junior high, I don't know which one, probably the 2nd year, it was lunch hour, and our lunch hour was getting held back in lunch because it was the messiest lunch period, apparently. And I was like, okay. And he just came rushing in before the bell rang. And he was like, everyone stay in here. No one leaves. And I was at the table right next to the door. And the bell rang. And my mind straight up. Like, this ain't embarrassing. Like, I think this is pretty funny. But it was like, I just want to say it. My mind straight up. I got up and I dipped out the doors. And I opened it and left. And I looked behind me. And I see the principal like, hey, what are you doing? And I saw him yelling back and I just dipped to class. I dipped out of that lunch hour. And I'm in my history class. And next thing you know, the teacher gets a call. And it's the principal asking for me. And I come to to his like office. And he's like, you know, I was talking to you. You know I yelled for you. Why'd you leave? And I was like, I didn't know. I didn't see it. And he was like, you looked at me. And I did. I just stared him down as I left the fucking lunchroom. And I got detention for it. And it was like, I lied my ass off saying, yeah, I didn't see you. It was just reaction. I just left lunch. The bell rang. I gotta go to class. And that's not really embarrassing. But this is a funny story. This is 26 minutes. Have fun trying to cut this out.
Anyways, I think it's time for my good old friend Easy to join in this nice little a conversation.
Name's Easy, or Squeakiel. If you don't know that, you should subscribe to me. Unsubscribe from Aiden immediately and just subscribe to his Squeakiel and his Twitch as well. But my story is, as a child in 5th grade also, it was my first day in class, and since it's your first day, they don't really give you any tests like the other kids are doing, nothing hard, because you're just learning, you're getting used to everything. But when I went in, my school had this thing where they were preparing you for middle school in 5th grade. So after lunch, they would your first teacher, your real teacher, would switch you with the second teacher for math and science while he was like reading and history or whatever it was. And when I went in, she said, well, I don't have anything for you to do right now, so you can take the test if you want. I'm not going to grade it, but if you want to, unless you want to sit down. And I felt awkward. I felt like, well, I might as well have to. So I went in and I did the test. And when I finished it, I finished before everyone else because I wanted to seem smart. I went up and just said, here it is. I enjoyed it. Oh, it gets worse. It gets worse. It gets a lot worse. So later that day at lunch, at lunch, since I was a new kid, there was one girl who doesn't like sweets as much. So she grabbed a cookie from a lunchbox and said, hey, who wants this cookie? And I was like, me. And she was like, ugh, I'll give it to the new kid. I was like, it's delectable sweet. It's so delicious. Oh. And this very day, I still think about how much of a freaking nerd I was. Hi, can I have the cookie? I'm the new kid. Ah! That's about it.
Another really funny moment that I this is more funny because when you're a kid, you don't really understand like the entire I don't know, you don't understand words, like what the meaning behind it is. So you kind of just say whatever. And I was an innocent kid. I wanted to say just whatever was on my mind. And I was watching, I think it was Odd Ones Out at the time. I'm blaming Odd Ones Out for this one. So I was watching them, and he said something about like a fetish. I don't know what I was thinking. I don't know what was going through my head. Maybe I thought it was like a fish. I don't fucking know. I don't know what a fetish meant at the time. And I remember I was sitting at my brother's house. And I was just chilling. And it popped into my mind. So I looked at someone who was visiting. I don't even really know them very well. And I looked at them and I asked, when do I get my fetish? I asked some freaking adult stranger, when will I get my fetish? And they looked at me and said, I don't even exactly remember what they said. I think they said like, you're not old enough to have one yet. Gosh, dude. That's so bad. Another really funny moment I had when I was like a younger kid was when I asked my another crush, bro. Okay, let me just ask you this. How many crushes did you guys have when you were in like middle school to like high school? Like how many crushes did you have? Because I had a few. I had a few crushes. It's like one at a time, but like I had a few every year. So I was really crushing on this one girl because she would like walk by me and she would say hi to me in the hallway. I was like, wow, a girl will talk to me? That's crazy. She talks to me. And I remember like super specifically like after school, looking up on like Reddit, how to tell if a girl likes you. And one of the top ones was like, if she says hi to you or whatever, if she goes out of her way to talk to you. And that's when I knew this girl's a crush on me. Oh man, if just I knew. But yeah, anyways, I was obviously I was a suave young man, so I was like, all right, if she likes me, I just got to go up to her and ask for her Snapchat. And yeah, this is in the stage of where like you first get Snapchat, you're adding like everyone you know, even people that you don't know. You're just adding absolutely everyone. And I was like, all right, I got to get this girl's because I like her. So during lunch period, I was like, all right, my mission for this lunch is to find her and ask for her Snapchat. And I checked where the popular kids hung out. No one's there. I looked in the playground. No one was there. So I'm just thinking, where do I look? Where do I find the love of my life? Where do I find her? And after like a solid 20 minutes of looking, for some reason, it didn't click in my mind that maybe I shouldn't ask her. She just said hi to me. She just said hi to me. For some reason, it didn't click on my mind not to ask her. But I was persistent. I stayed looking. And eventually, I go to the gym. I went to the gym bleachers. And there she is with another guy. And I knew this guy. He's a really cool guy, actually. Still kind of talk to him. So I go up and I walk up to her. Not really sure what they're talking about. So I walk up to her and I ask, so can I have your I just got Snapchat and I'm wondering if I could add you. And this guy is just looking at me like, bruh. And she's like, oh, yeah, sure. And she gives me her Snapchat. That's awesome, bro. She gives me her Snapchat. And I was on top of the world, bro. I was so happy, man. I was so happy. I actually got her and I jumped down. I tripped onto my knees and I looked in between the bleachers. And this guy and her, they're holding hands. And later I find out that they were dating. So this girl really just gave out her freaking Snapchat to some random guy in front of her boyfriend. In all honesty, it was a joke. I'm sure it was a joke because like anytime a girl hit on me in high school, it was always as a joke. So yeah, emotional trauma. You're right. But dude, the sad thing is I have a solid like hundreds of more stories that I could tell. This video could be 2 hours long for all I care. So if this video gets 10 likes, I'll do a part 2 if this video gets 10 likes. Yeah, so I hope you enjoy. Thank you.